Hi, I'm Robin Samora. I'm a marketing and PR expert. Welcome to my webinar today. We're going to be talking about 10 insider publicity secrets to get noticed by the press. A little bit about me. I'm a top 20 small business marketing blogger. I'm a marketing and PR consultant. I teach and train, and I'm also a marketing partner with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in the Express Grants program. If you have a small business with W-2 employees and you are eligible for the grant, you can work with me for free. So a little bit more about that later on in the webinar. I've worked with some really big businesses like Xfinity and Comcast and have been working with them for the last, 22 or so years. I've worked with the Boston Globe and their Globe Santa program. I've been a Major League Baseball licensee. I've gotten all different kinds of press. I've worked with the Red Sox at the X Games. And above all, I also not only just big brands, but I also work with a lot of smaller brands, experts and consultants and service providers and professionals and medical folks who want to also build their business, share their gift, and make money. So I work with both big brands and small brands, and mostly small brands right now because I just love it. And I'm working on these marketing grants that are helping small business owners in a very big way. So we're here to talk about PR, better known as public relations. Public relations is the art of positioning yourself or your brand or your company in the best light so that you get earned media mention, that people say and think good things about you, that you influence your target audience. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, is how to get this free press and how you need to do it and what are some of the things that are important for you along the way. And basically to make sure that you are media ready and what are the things that you need to do to be media ready. So the basics to build a media presence, they're all outlined here, or at least most of them. You want to make sure that you have expertise in your field. You demonstrate a big why, so why you're in business, why you do what you do. You have a compelling brand presence. You are able to tell a captivating story. You want to have a well-designed and error-free website that's not boring. You want to be credible, trustworthy. You want to make sure that you're on social media and that you have social proof and reviews and testimonials, that you have headshots professionally taken. I prefer always. But if you have a photographer friend or someone that likes to take photos and you have a nice iPhone, I've seen some really nice portraits in portrait mode. And I even shoot my videos with my iPhone. You need also well-written bios. You might need a few different kinds. First, a short bio, second, a long bio, and third, maybe even an author resource box where if you're going to be putting articles, for example, on LinkedIn, you want to have something like that with a call to action. And most importantly, you want to make sure that you're available to the media as a resource. That would be 24/7 if you're sending out a press release. You're available 24/7 as a brand anyway because you're online. You have a website. But as far as the press is concerned, if they need to reach you, they want to know that they can text you or email you. Phone calls aren't really often a lot these days. It depends on if there's an interview or not. But you always want to be available as a resource. So write that on your press release, available 24/7. Because basically you want to be a digital brand that never sleeps, because you are a rock star brand, and a rock star brand never sleeps. You have email going, articles, social media, your website, you have speaking gigs, you have all the events, hybrid events, email marketing. You're doing all these things. So your brand is really never sleeping. It's always online. It's always fully awake. So you want to make sure that it always looks the best that it can. Now what we'll do is we'll talk about the different kinds of media. There's 4 different types of media. The first one here is traditional media, like radio and TV and newspaper. The second is earned media, like if you get picked up in a story in the USA Today. One of my favorite stories is that I pitched before Christmas time, maybe say the second week of December, a blind request on Harrow, Help a Reporter, and I got picked up in USA Today twice in a week. And I was actually scuba diving in the Cayman Islands when I found out with my two daughters. Your own media channels. This would be your website. It would be your white papers. It would be things that you own that nobody can take away from you. I do suggest and want to make sure that you don't have a URL that's that is that is wordpress.com/something something something. You want to make sure you own your own URL. That's really important. And with this woman here that has her Stage for More website and blog, she's collecting names. We want to always, of course, make sure that we collect names for people so that we can build our email list. Because an email list is valuable. It's like gold. Because just because people don't read your email all the time, they can open it up when they want to. It's permission based. They want to hear from you. And lastly, social media. Social media is important. You do not, I repeat, you do not have to be on every single platform. You can be on 2 or 3. If you're going to be doing it, make sure that you are doing a good job, that you're engaging with your target audience. More is not better. We have all different kinds of platforms, from Facebook to Twitter to LinkedIn to Pinterest to TikTok to YouTube to Clubhouse to Instagram. And I even consider Google My Business a social media platform, because it's actually one of the best kept secrets in town, because you can add content there, you can put press releases there, you can have your reviews go there, images, photos, videos. You could write your own frequently asked questions, things like that. Basically, the whole point of this webinar is to make sure that you promote yourself as an expert, so that the media recognizes who you are, your industry knows who you are, and that you're getting the publicity and the business that you deserve. So we'll do 10 different tips that will be important, insider secrets I'll call them, to make sure that you are on track to get the publicity that you want, that you need to get the recognition and business that you deserve. So the first is build a brand that lights you up. And what does that mean? Well, that just means that you should be excited and you should be passionate about your topic. And it should be one topic or subtopics within a topic. And by that, I mean that you want to be a subject matter expert in one particular area. You could be one particular area and then have a hobby. That's okay. But I tend to think that you should be an expert in one area. And this is a tiny URL that's linked to an article on Canva that I really like, about how to build a brand in 5 days. And we're talking about being consistent, having a professional look, feel, and story, and what you need to. The second is claim your spot as an expert. Here's just a couple of screenshots of my blog, a newsletter, Fast Marketing Minute, my branding, and the podcast, and what that might look like. Don't be afraid to claim your spot as an expert. You have worked hard. Share it. Do it in a way that's mindful. And if you don't toot your own horn, who's going to toot it for you? Unless, of course, you have a publicist you're going to pay $3,500 a month or more for. So claim your spot as an expert. You can do this all yourself. I truly believe from the bottom of my heart that you don't need to spend $1 million to build a business or your brand. Third, you want to study your audience. That means you want to create a different avatars of who your target audience is. Be specific about your ideal customer. When we write marketing plans, we want to make sure that we understand the customer inside and out, and also understand the competition inside and out. We want to do competitive analysis. So for your audience, you want to make sure that you know who they are, where they are, what makes them tick, and what drives them. What are the call to actions that work for them? And create content specifically for the audience, but also the media that supports them. This is important because as you're going to be researching your media, you want to make sure that you're going after the right media for your particular audience or audiences. Number 4, Write a blog. A blog is one of the easiest way to start getting some attention, online attention, and also from the media if you're consistent at it. So write a blog for an audience of 2. That sounds kind of weird, but what I mean by that is that you want to write for your ideal customer and for Google. And for Google, I mean optimizing your content. So what can you write about? Answer questions people ask over and over and over again. You should have a little notebook for this. Write high quality content to solve their problems. And your audience today is not your audience tomorrow. Remember, people are surfing the web, so they put in the keywords, they punch in keywords in Google, so in the search bar. So you want to make sure that you're writing for what your topic is, but look in different ways that you can frame it, that you can ask questions, and you're going to do a lot of online research for what they might like to know. Optimize with keywords like crazy, including your video descriptions. And I say invest $35 on Fiverr for SEO keyword research. If you contact me, I'll tell you who my favorite person is. Honestly, Fiverr.com has some amazing vendors. SEO keyword research, you want to do that because you want to be peppering your content and your website and other material that you have online, and it makes such a difference. And for $35 or a little bit more plus a tip, you can find out a ton of information that will really help you in your business. Number 5, capitalize on current events. So basically, take a hot button current event and put yourself in the news. So that means what's going on now? How does that affect your business? What do you have to say about it? Are you pro or are you contrarian about it? And you can combine it with data or opinion that's relevant to your industry. So you can make some kind of a hypothesis up. Is it crazy or not? It doesn't matter. You can be a contrarian. It does take some practice, and it does take a little bit of courage to pitch the media, but you should definitely go for it because it's a no-cost publicity tactic that definitely works. It's called newsjacking. And here's what it kind of looks like in a graph. This is by David Meerman Scott. He's a brilliant PR author and strategist. And basically, he coined it newsjacking because we have breaking news. Newsjacking goes just about before the journalists scramble for additional information. Public excitement grows, peak, old news, and done. So if you are able to understand what this cycle looks like, it would be great to be able to pitch the media, and I'm going to be showing you some of the ways to do that as we go through the webinar. For example, so what would be something that would be for newsjacking? Well, I recently saw a lot of information on how to spot fake news in the Ukraine-Russia war, because it's called the disinformation war, right? So this is something that might be a hot topic, and I have seen it come up. This is something that is recent. But then we have other things that aren't so recent, like when Brad Pitt was single. Norwegian.com utilized that with their ads. And here I just gave you some different ways that you can leverage online sources with Google Trends and Reddit and subreddits and social media and Google alerts. Thanks to our friends at SEMrush for giving us this content. And newsjacking is something that is important, but you've got to get the hang of it. So start practicing and look what other people are doing as they newsjack the news. Another thing to do is to leverage trends and influencers. So we want to see what's going on with trends. Now, you might be checking your own industry publications. You might be looking at your own Google Trends at Feedly. Feedly is a news aggregator. I like it a lot. It has a lot of information by topics. You want to look at BuzzSumo, another one of my favorites. You can find out with BuzzSumo what's trending, articles that are being shared the most, who are the influencers sharing those articles, a ton of information, as well as a BuzzFeed and some of the others that are here. Influencers, I will say, are not all 20-something. That is something that you definitely should know. You should think about creating partnerships with influencers, and just remember that they're human like you. This little dog, I meant to give a smile to your face here. So find influencers who fit with your brand and follow and engage with them on social media. You don't have to have Kim Kardashian as your influencer. It could be someone that you respect and that maintains a lot of industry influence in your particular niche or in your community. You can create a schedule for commenting on or sharing their posts and offer support to them. Be part of their social pod. The only way to have a friend is to be one. Ralph Waldo Emerson said that. So influencers are like you. They want their stuff to be liked also, and they want to create a network. So be a part of their network, but do it in a way that's not stalking them. Number 7 is to flaunt your expertise with free R to build credibility and leadership position. So here's a URL that I have talking about some PR data in 2021. You might want to take a look at that. So some of these logos, and the logos change all the time, so these should be pretty up to date. But we have Quora. Quora is an expert website where people ask questions and experts comment. Quora is awesome because you can find out questions that you might want to write blogs or articles or speaking gigs. You can find out who your competitors could be. You can find out who could potentially be a customer. You never know. Muckrack is an online resource where journalists hang out, and you can pitch them on Muckrack. A lot of these, Quora is free. Muckrack might have a freemium. Meetup is another one that you might want to consider. Meetup is, now that things are more in person, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, but you can still gain a lot of recognition and build a community. Eventbrite, similarly, one of my colleagues, Wayne Braithwaite on LinkedIn, LinkedIn expert, he shares webinars on Eventbrite, charges $100. They're amazing information, much cheaper than working with him. But he does it on Eventbrite, and why can't we all do something on Eventbrite if that's in your particular outreach method or strategy? Cision, PR Newswire, that's now, that used to be Harrow, but Cision owns Harrow. There's Reddit. Clarity is somewhere where you can, people can buy your expertise, much less money. And then Medium, you can promote your articles and your content on Media. You can even post your media kits there. So these are just some of the very few ways to flaunt your expertise for PR. If you do anything for PR, you definitely want to sign up for Harrow at helpareporter.com. And this is where I got a ton of free press. And you can either sign up as a journalist, which you're probably not, or a source. So being a source would be like I would answer Harrow requests in a form that I can tell you about. And basically you want to do a short, sweet little template to them, let them know who you are, put in your information in the middle, and always be brief and be sensitive, because journalists are super busy and they don't have a lot of time and they don't need a lot of frou-frou unnecessary info. How to pitch a journalist at Harrow. Peter Shankman's a fellow BU grad. He founded Harrow, and I have this little video that goes to him right here. And he'll basically he talks faster than me. And basically he says that you want to do it short, sweet, say who you are, what your expertise is. And this on the left is an example of what a Harrow query might look like. And it's right here. It's a summary. I will, right here, how to change your PR marketing strategy in the wake of a pandemic. And I'll just give you a little tip here that if you're going to be writing back, you'll write back to the Harrow, whoever it is. If it's the person's name you see, this is Blair. But if it wasn't, you could say, you could just say greetings or whatever. But in the subject line, when you write back, you'll write Harrow, capital HARO, colon, and then put in the title, how to change your marketing PR strategy. They'll know that you're serious and with what you're doing. But take a look at this video. It's kind of fun. I think you'll get a kick out of it. Number 8, you want to talk with reporters about your work. So what am I going to talk to a reporter about? I don't know. I don't have anything to say. Well, that's not so. Here's a URL that you should take a look at that has great pitch ideas that brings you to Press Farm. And we here can talk about sharing a personal story with a reporter, or a new feature, a recent milestone. You can give data. You can just start to build a relationship. You can share a story about a product or how your company is involved with pressing societal issues. So there's some different templates here. I think it's a gold mine of information. So I'd love for you to take a look at it, and it will just give you some ideas. Remember, these are templates. You have to customize the templates to you. Do what feels right for you and your brand. Not every brand is the same in any way. You have to make sure that everything that you do is in your brand personality and style and voice and tone and messaging. Here's an example of something that I did when we Build the Buzz for a Grammy. And we were hired to do a social media PR campaign for this Grammy nominee. And we decided that she wanted to build her buzz on social media. So we said, okay, that's great. Go out and try on some dresses, and let's have your audience vote on them on Facebook. So it was an overwhelming success. This was a real winner, this dress. She's gorgeous. And then we wrote a press release and sent it to the local media where she was. And she actually won the Grammy. It was great. I got a text from another publicist. She was with her on the red carpet, and she won. And I was in Puerto Rico, and I was like, oh, great. I was so happy. So anyway, you can do this. I also pitch the press by social media. So it's a combination of efforts. Remember, there's no one thing that works. There's no one exact formula. You tweak it to what you think will work, and then you can always change it. As a small business owner, you have the flexibility and you have permission to be able to change things up as you need to. But this is my story of building a buzz for a Grammy. So happy. Such a great campaign. The pictures that she had of these gowns were amazing, and her fans would vote on them, and she got a lot of votes and a lot of engagement from her audience. Number 9, I just say, is the press release is not dead. No way. So you can use press releases on your website. You can share a link. You can do it for organic SEO. You can use press releases in a number of ways. You can send them to your clients, to your prospects. You can send them to your vendors. Press releases live forever, and there are a number of ways you can send them out. So what news do you want to share? Here's how to write a winning press release, a template that I put together a while back, but still remains true. This is one of the formulas. There are some different formulas. There's something also called an ABCD formula. But take a look at this. Some variation of it will work for you. This was on my blog, and I just made a tiny URL link for you to take a look with directions on what to put in every paragraph. And I also wanted to include an upcoming press release that I have for the grants that I'm doing with the Express Grant Program in Massachusetts. So first, what you'll see here is that I have a catchy headline, and then we have a subheadline, we have a date, we have the place where it's released, we have the date, and then we have the ABCD formula here in the first paragraph. And then what you'll see highlighted is our keywords, SEO keywords by my friend at Fiverr. And I got some quotes. You want some quotes. You want some testimonials. You want a number of things, depending, of course, on what you're writing your press release about. One press release will not do it all the time. So if you are thinking that you're one and done, that is not true. It takes sometimes 3 or 4 to get noticed. But if you're doing everything else, it certainly helps your cause. So this is just an example here of what you see. I thought that would be interesting for you to take a look at what I was doing here with my own press release. There are also free and paid distribution lists. Mine will go out by PR Newswire because I want it to be picked up by Associated Press. And I'm also going to be creating databases for national grants, national small business grants for business owners across the country, because I really think, why should you pay for marketing or marketing help if you can get it for free? Sounds crazy. It's a no-brainer, right? So that's why I love marketing grants. And if you want to check out the Express Grants program, that's great. I'd love to have a conversation with you. So there are free resources, paid sources, variables, would include the cost and count and schedule. For example, video on some of these costs like $300 extra, but if you have a link in your press release, it won't cost you anything else. It will make a difference whether you want national or local distribution. You do get credibility. And again, I mentioned associated press coverage. Building a media kit is our last one. And here we're going to be talking about what goes to a media kit. So this is your time to make a splash. So make sure that you do it. You're going to put your story, why you're in business, some company facts, some high-res images and video. You can put your brand guidelines in there, people on your team. If you have other media releases, reviews or testimonials, photos, I said that, a separate press email. And you can host it in the cloud or on Google Drive or wherever you want to do it, hidden on your website, and then send the link when it's right. You want to make sure that you are in control of your media kit all the time. And here's something that I love too, I thought you might like, is this is choose from 53 excuse me, media kit templates, and this is on Canva. So you can take a look, find something that you like here, and this is probably in the paid one. I think there's a paid Canva of free. I was on that forever, and now I think I might pay $12 or $13 a month, but you can customize almost anything here. So take a look at this. This is just amazing. I love it. So you want to leverage digital media to gain exposure. You can post on LinkedIn and Twitter and top social platforms. You can put a link in Facebook groups or subreddits. You can do all of these different things. Build a digital library of press mentions, save quotes, pull snippets to use and promote products and services, and share content with your social pod or add to your editorial calendar. Of course, you want to network with editors and writers because that's really important. You're not going to be stalking people. You just follow them, like them, engage. You want to build relationships, just like if you were dating, you want to build a relationship. So creating a digital PR strategy is, and I have it in two columns. One is about organic PR and the other is about repurposing. So media releases will help you increase your ranking. You can guest post, start a podcast or be a guest, repost articles and syndicate content. You can connect with high-profile partners and influencers. And above all, you have to pay attention to gain attention. And then repurposing, you can turn blogs to articles to social media. I turned my podcast into video on YouTube. Freebies, you can take your videos and make them how-tos or testimonials or short-form video, and adapt original content and infographics to other social media platforms as well. And you want to keep your eye open for PR opportunities because always know that you are in control of your story. You own the narrative. So getting PR is a learned skill. It helps you outshine your competitors. The content builds trust and goodwill and can be repurposed. You want to be an active contributor. That's how you get known as an expert. And put the work in upfront to learn the PR process and, of course, get the recognition that you deserve. So now we're in March, which is the end of the third quarter of 2022. We're starting our second quarter. And again, I was talking a little bit about Massachusetts and the Express Grants program that I'm working with. So business grants are available. They're 100% reimbursable if your company qualifies, and you need W-2 employees to do that. So I offer marketing and PR training and services. You can see if your company qualifies. Here's a website that I just created that you can take a look at that will outline the program, or you can get in touch with me however you like at robin@robinsamora.com, or you can give me a call. These business grants are through the Express Grants program. It is the best secret in town, an amazing opportunity for small businesses with W-2 employees. And if you could use $9,000 of free grant money to build your business, to get a marketing plan, an action plan, I would love to have a conversation with you. Here's my calendar link and my email. You can out also Massachusetts businessmarketing.com, or schedule some time on my calendar. And I thank you so much for staying with me through the webinar. And of course, I always am grateful to the Greater Lynn Area Chamber of Commerce for giving me the opportunity to share my expertise and for me to be able to share my gift with you to help you grow your business. Thank you and have a great day.